guide our decision-making, to help all of those come to understand that giving is better than receiving, and help us all to help those in need. We ask in your name, amen.
Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk? Here.
Councilmember Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Leeson.
Here.
Councilmember Cumberland.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Barr.
Here.
Could I get a motion to confirm or adjust agenda?
I will move to confirm.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Cumberland. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next regular meeting of the City Council will be held on Tuesday, December 1st, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located at City Hall. The Town Green Festival is Saturday, December the 14th, 2024. The parade begins at 4 o'clock at the Country Club, and at 5 to 8 is the festival out on the Town Green. So remember, if you need to register, go on the city's website, click on the calendar, go to the Town Green Christmas event, and then you'll see the link to fill out the form to sign up to get your golf cart decorated and get in the Christmas parade, which is a fun event for the kids. Proclamation. Tonight we have a proclamation for Dementia Awareness Month. Whereas, championed by the Southern Mississippi Planning and Development District, SMPDD, Area Agency on Aging, the Diamond Head Senior Village, and the Mississippi State Department of Health, the city of Diamond Head became the first dementia-friendly city in Mississippi. And whereas currently more than 55 million people have dementia worldwide, over 60% whom live in low and middle-income countries. Every year, there are nearly 10 million new cases. Dementia is currently the 7th leading cause of death and one of the major causes of disability and dependency among older people globally. And whereas dementia robs people of their memories, clarity, and identity, taking a difficult emotional, financial, and physical toll on people facing the diseased and the loved ones standing by their side. And whereas we honor and remember all the lives we have lost and all those we still can save, and we uplift the spirit and hope of those who work relentlessly to bring awareness, research, and ultimately a cure for the disease. And whereas Diamond Head Dementia Friendly, consisting of Southern Mississippi Planning and Development, SMPDD, Area Agency on Aging, the Diamond Head Senior Village, the Mississippi State Department of Health, and Hancock County Library System's mission is to create a city that is informed, safe, and respectful of individuals living with dementia, their families and caregivers, and supportive options that foster quality of life, bringing awareness and support. Whereas Diamond Head Dementia Friendly created the Diamond Head Memory Cafe to provide a safe and comfortable space where caregivers and their loved ones can socialize, listen to music, play games, and enjoy other activity. It provides mutual support and exchange information. Now, therefore, I, Nancy DePrio, Mayor of the City of Diamond Head, along with the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of November Dementia Friendly Awareness Month in the City of Diamond Head. So I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to the Dementia Friendly Committee that is working in Diamond Head. They are not here tonight. They were not able to come, but we do have a memory cafe, and this will be presented at the Memory Cafe. It's this Friday at 11 o'clock at the library. Excuse me, I'm corrected. It's 10 o'clock at the library. So if you know of anyone with memory loss, Please let them know and their care provider to also come and enjoy the Memory Cafe. It's a time where we all socialize together. It's a wonderful event, and we'll present the proclamation at that event. Thank you. City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to give you guys a quick update on the various projects we have going on. The MDOT project is progressing very well, and they're working on finishing up the second interstate ramp and getting that back open. I believe right now they're probably going to be working on putting the forms together for what the roundabout will be in that area. So it won't be open probably for another week, maybe two, depending on how this weather has slowed them down a little bit. I know they has moved the date to the next Friday, or to this Friday, I should say. But I suspect it'll probably be another week after that. I have been given that they expect to close the next ramp on December 2nd. This will be the westbound deceleration lane, which should be, if I'm reading it correctly, will be the one coming from headed west. So the one coming from Gulfport coming into Diamond Head will be the next one they close. So that would allow them to finish that entire roundabout on that area, and then they'll get the one on the south side will be the last ramp to work on. But that date, of course, is still dependent on this weather and whether they can get everything done. But the weather does look good for the rest of the week, and hopefully some of next week, so they should be able to get some of that work done to get that finished. The Park 10 Road contract is for 483 days. Current end date for that one is December 31st, and they're still working on installing the brick pavers, the lighting and the irrigation along the sidewalks to finish out that project. Went down there today, and the trees for the area have been delivered, so they'll be getting those installed as well. And they do have paving scheduled for first of next month. The Bowview 2 project is scheduled to end December the 4th, but the project looks very good and near finished. We will have a final walkthrough set for November the 27th to see if there's any other issues. There's already one around one of the new culverts or inlets that they put in that the erosion around the area, and they've already gone out there and worked on that one to fix that problem. But going through this morning, watching the rain, it catches all that rain in that nice ditch, and you can see the grass growing already up through those little concrete domes and starting to look really good. The Kaliki Way, still waiting on the contractor, or the contractor still waiting on the engineer to get the updated plans for the entire roadway repairs that will be done to that project. So that one's just kind of on hold at this time. They did have some erosion issues prior to that. I actually got in touch with the contractor yesterday and the engineer, and they actually went out there and fixed those prior to this rain coming to make sure that stabilized that area to prevent any further erosion and any other issues. And the neighbor that lives, or resident that lives near that, sent me a video this morning and said he was very pleased with the way all that turned out. The Noma Drive Phase 1B project, 180 calendar days, currently scheduled to end July the 7th. Contractors currently just waiting on some additional materials that they need. We had a change order on the last agenda, and so they're trying to get the rest of the materials they need and get that project finished out, and shouldn't be much longer, and should be within that January 7th date. And if not, we'll have to look at some rain days to see if they need any additional time, but they should be finished by then. The Turnberry Way project, I would say it's finished. It's still messy and looks terrible out there, but as far as the drainage and the culverts and everything, all of that's installed, and it was doing an excellent job this morning, pushing all that water through and draining it out to that pond. The pond itself, talked with Dan at the POA on the golf course maintenance director, and he was telling me how that pond held so much more water and was able to release it slowly over that weir at the other end, and it just really did its job the way it needed to, and really helped out overall. So everybody was pleased there. Contractor still has to get they removed all the asphalt and put down their first course of base material down there, but they have found 3 areas that are pumping, as they say, And so they may have to dig those areas up and get that unsuitable soil out of there and get some better soil down so that they can create a stable base, and then they'll put the asphalt down. Scheduled to have that done here in the next couple of weeks, so they should be finished well before the December 25th deadline on that project. The Ahuli Place, we met with the POA and the contractor and the engineer today to discuss the total project and how the impact of the golf course, or how it was going to impact the golf course. Everybody's gotten together and are on the same page. We understand what we're going to do and how this is going to affect the play of the golf course during that time while we work on it, as well as the rest of the project. So, work those details out, and everybody's okay with it. The biggest thing is, due to this rain, it'll be a couple of weeks before the contractor can get started on the golf course area. It's just got to dry out before they can get on that golf course, or if not, they'll mess it up. But there's a lot more of that project to do, so they'll have plenty to work on, and can get to that project once that area dries out, and they can work on that area. The Hilo Way master drainage project is still just kind of in a holding pattern until they can get finished with the Ahuli project. But I am meeting with the Diamond Head Water and Sewer and the engineer. I want to say it's the 2nd of December, I believe, and to discuss that project to make sure everything's going to work and that there are no conflicts that we will run into. So we should have all those issues addressed before the project gets started. Comey Drive and Calipacona Pond, we had a pre-bid meeting today. Actually had, in this weather, we had one contractor show up, but we've had already 4 contractors take the bids or take the packet. So we're going to hopefully see at least 2 or 3 bids come in on that project. Those bids are due on December the 4th, and then we'll get them on the next agenda once they're reviewed and approved to get started on that. Dog Park, Oshner is reviewing the sublease agreement and will return it to us for approval. Hopefully have it on the next agenda for you guys to review and approve. Coon Branch, the engineer, is finalizing the design on this project. They will present the project at the December 17th meeting for the council to review, and then we'll advertise this project then, or maybe 1st of January. Noma Drive dredging, the notice of award was issued to the contractor, and they're working on getting their contracts and documents that they need to get started, and then we'll issue a notice to proceed, and we'll have a start date and end date on that project as soon as we get that. Canal dredging, the final design to account for the SAV has been approved by MDEQ and USACE. The request to advertise this project is on tonight's agenda for you to get approval, and then we'll get this project hopefully started sometime in March, April of 2025. And this is going to be a really a wonderful project to get those canals dredged out for those residents down there, as well as the main canal itself. Jordan River Boardwalk, MDEQ has reviewed the cross sections of the boardwalk and had some follow-up questions, which the engineer provided them with the answers for that. So they're in the final review, and once that's approved, we'll be able to get this project started. Currently, the engineer, well, not started, but get it for the council for advertising and get us a contractor started, get it under contract and get started on it. The engineer's working on the Tidelands lease right now to get that and the final permits that are needed for this project. So he's very close to getting done with that. And the other projects, just no real updates on Noma Drive detention, Pelican Cove unit price contracts, or the Montjoy Creek. They're just in a holding pattern right now until the final details and whatever are needed on those can get to us, and we'll get started on them. Oh, is she?
All right, Councilman Marr, any questions?
No questions.
Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Cumberland?
No, ma'am, I have no questions.
Councilman Lisi?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to thank Pat Rich for responding quickly yesterday. Apparently, there's a business in the downtown that's trying to skirt our new sign ordinance by removing some of the huge neon signage that we said couldn't exist anymore with the new ordinance. And so what they did is they moved it about a foot back. And so it's not attached to the window anymore. It's just behind the window, but it's still lighted and shines through. So he got right on that. So thank you so much. I just wanted to be sure to say that out loud, so when people notice that, you know, it looks like that sign is back exactly like it was, we're aware and city's on it. So thank you. And then let's see. Are we at Toys for Tots drop-off location this year as we've been in the past? I didn't know. I know we've worked with the Hancock Resource Agency and the Chamber before.
I have not heard, they haven't reached out to us as
Okay.
to whether they would or not. But the Hancock Resource Agency did, and I don't know if anybody's here from that organization. They did want to come and speak about the Angel Tree
Okay.
project. They had, how many? 183
183 children.
requests, and so they're looking for people who are willing to adopt an angel.
Okay, I
as
was
much
just
as
wondering if there was
possible.
any way that we could help facilitate
Sure.
any of,
We can get in touch with Toys for Tots. We are going to have a drop-off for the Christmas,
Okay.
event on the 14th.
yeah, just whatever we can do. If you needed the council to do anything, I just thought we might need to do it at this meeting since it's coming up. But
Nothing
if
that we need to
don't,
do, we
then we're
can
good.
take care of it.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. That's all I had.
Councilman Finley?
No, ma'am.
I have a few questions. So you mentioned on Kaliki Way, you had someone complain about erosion. And
It was on Aiki, but yes, and the
Aiki,
Kaliki project,
Kaliki, the
yes.
Kaliki project, and you went out and fixed it. I had emailed on November 5th several questions about a resident's concerned on Kaliki Court. And you responded, you had to discuss with the engineer. Well, some of these, while they were out there fixing the erosion, they might could have done this. So at this resident's address, the brick pavers were relocated from the existing planter and they weren't replaced. They were thrown about, but they weren't put
Right.
back.
I got all those requests. I'll give those to the engineer. Just haven't got an answer back from them at this
Okay.
time, so.
Then,
They're working on it.
You're working on it?
They're working on it, yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay, and then and I see the engineer working. So we're talking about Kaliki, a resident that had concerns. You went out and fixed concerns on one that already called in about drainage erosion? Okay. This one is on the corner of Kaliki Court and Amoka. There's brick pavers that were rearranged at the planter, and
Yes,
they
ma'am.
hadn't been replaced.
The engineer's aware of all of those concerns that you gave me.
Okay.
And they're working on them.
Okay. So it's been almost a month, though, since I sent it. So let me just make sure we know. And we're working on the
Yes, ma'am.
riprap on the portion of the
I'm
ditch.
aware of all 6 or 7 that you sent me, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then change order number 1 shows asphalt pavement in the disturbed areas on Kaliki Way and Kaliki Court. Kaliki Court sheet 6.1 says replacement of 81 square yards of asphalt. Kaliki Way at Amoka intersection on sheet 7.0 of change order 1, it says replace 81.5 square yards of asphalt. And Kaliki Way sheet 7.2 says replace 82 square yards. When is the estimated time? And now with all the rain, it's even worse on the replacement of this asphalt.
Just said, we're waiting on the engineer to get the total road asphalt done. All asphalt was removed out of the project originally in the change orders, but we are putting it back in with a new change order once we get the entire process, or the entire design put back together.
So we're going to have a change order 2
Yes, ma'am.
forthcoming, because we can't just leave out stuff in change
Yes,
order
ma'am,
1
that is
and not
exactly
have a
right.
change order 2.
Yes,
Those were
ma'am.
my concerns, and this is the first I'm hearing that we're getting a change order 2, which clarifies, because I had deep concerns why this work wasn't done, and it was shown in change order 1.
Yes, ma'am. There will be another change order. When we did the change order for time, I discussed that there will be another change order coming to actually add back in the asphalt.
That was removed. How did we work out on the funding for change order 1?
Don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
Okay, so the change order 1 had an estimated expense of so many dollars. Did we use all that funding for change order 1 that was allocated to change order 1?
I can't say. I don't have anything in front of me to justify that or not. Can't answer.
Okay, I guess my question would be, why was the asphalt that's already budgeted in change order one, why was it removed? Did something overrun?
It was removed to add all the culverts on everybody's driveways and in their front yards. That was the reason why all that was removed.
Okay, I thought change order one fixed that, so I
No,
was
change order
confused.
one removed the asphalt and added the culverts.
Okay, so change order two will be on the next agenda with these concerns?
Change order two should have been to add days to the contract,
Just to add days?
Sam, to keep the contractor under contract at this time.
So where is the asphalt for Kaliki Court, Kaliki Way at Amoka, and Kaliki Way gonna be?
That will be in the next change order.
So change order two is for days and work?
No, ma'am, it was only for days. It's already been approved.
Okay, the work just hasn't been done. So,
There is no additional work that was added to the change order. It was just to add time to the contract, to keep them under contract.
so what we're saying is change order one with these square yards of asphalt is staying in change order one. That wasn't removed and deleted.
I can't say. I don't have anything in front of me. I don't know if I can answer your question.
Does the engineer know? He's here.
Yeah.
He doesn't know?
There'll be a summative change order coming that will take care of all of this.
Okay, because it's very confusing. I mean, I don't know why we hadn't done the asphalt if it's still in change order one and change order two is just for days. And the residents, you know, they've tolerated enough of the road being, the project looks good, but they're ready to see some pavement.
It will be done.
Okay, what is the status of the next pavement project? Kaliki Way, Aiki Way, Amoka, Bayou Drive, Turnberry Way, and Turnberry Way from Mahawahuli to Turnberry Way.
That has all been adjusted because we've added more of the asphalt back into the ARPA projects to cover the additional monies we still have in ARPA. So we're reworking that entire plan. So once the engineer can get the ARPA projects finished, we'll go back to the paving 2025 plan and get that done.
So we don't have an estimated time
No,
when we
ma'am.
think these will be advertised?
No, ma'am.
Okay. September 17th, 2024, we had a public hearing for Bayou Drive, parcel number 067M-1-35-284.000 for the property owner, Prominence Homes and Communities. And we made a motion either to advertise for bid, obtain quotes, or utilize city resources for the property to be in compliance. Where are we with that one?
I have no idea. I have no idea about that. That would be, code enforcement was handling that, and since he is now resigned, we'll have to get back on that one.
Oh, I didn't know he resigned. So we don't have a code enforcement?
Currently, we do not.
Can we check on that tomorrow just to see where, because the residents had asked me about
Yeah.
that one.
If anything, we've been trying to get the property owner to take care of that. That way the city doesn't have to expend its own funds for that. But I will check.
Oh, okay. So we didn't need the public hearing, which,
No, man, we did, but it tries to spur the resident or the property owner along to get the work done. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, we have plenty of time to work on that and get that done.
okay. If you could just let me know where we are, because I had a resident asking about that. The dog park. So the original dog park was a 2-acre parcel, and the proposed is a 1.3. Is that correct? 1.3, the new one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we had a lot of donations that were specific with plaques being posted on specific items.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the engineer aware of that?
Yes,
Like the
ma'am.
drinking
Same
fountain?
engineer, 100% knows everything that was already on there.
Okay, because we need to make sure, being we already received donations for those placards, that comes into play. All right, that's all the questions I had. You just let me know tomorrow about Bayou. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly. And I do want to say, like I said, the Hancock Human Resources did reach out to us about the angel tree and the fact that they have a lot of angels on there. So we do want to, if anyone wants to adopt one or take one, but just let us know, and we'll get you in touch with them. Or if you can encourage others to reach out to the Hancock Resource Center and get that to adopt, that would be a good thing. And I do want to bring up one other thing. We do have an issue coming up here. We have the activity center area rented already by a resident on December 1st, which is the same day as Mayor. You have your are trying to have your farmers market also, and the two things really shouldn't be going on at the same time. If someone rents the facility, they rent the activity center as well as the grounds. And you and I have gone back and forth on emails about this, and I just don't know where your final answer is as to whether you're going to still want to have it on the 1st, or if you're actually going to change and do just what your insurance says, which is the 15th.
No, my insurance has been corrected today, like you asked for that, and it'll be sent tomorrow. So the insurance has been updated to add the 12/1. And we did send back in October saying we were moving back to the first Sunday.
Yes, ma'am. As I said, that was 4 days after the individual had already rented the facility. So the city had no idea that the facility was not going to be available or would even not be available. But even then, all you said was that it was moving back to Sunday, which your plan or your schedule was the 3rd Sunday of the month.
It said the
which would not-
first Sunday.
No, ma'am. Your email just said you're moving back to Sunday, which is the 3rd
Okay,
Sunday
and
of
I
the month.
think it said the 1st, but we'll discuss that tomorrow, whatever we need to do to make it work. But we are ready to move forward on the 1st, and we will make sure everybody parks on the other side.
Yeah.
And we will
I mean,
also
if
get
you're having
restrooms.
50 vendors out here, it's going to be a lot for the individual.
We're
and
hoping
just
we
being in
get
their way.
50, but we hadn't gotten 50 yet, so we'll see. All right, public comments? Is that Marcia? Okay, come on up, honey. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, good evening.
Good evening.
It's been about exactly 2 years since the last time I stood up here. My name's Maria Karpaitis. I'm going to read because there's a lot of information. It's going to be a lot of details at the beginning, but I'm going to recap at the end. My name's Maria Karpaitis. I live at 7949 Hilo Way. It's been exactly 2 years since the last time we were here arguing against the open ditch design during Phase 1 of Hilo Way Drainage Project. I think that we, my husband and I, have been more patient, very patient, waiting on a response or a resolution, but since there has been no response or resolution, I thought it was time that I'd get it on the record. Completion of Phase 1 was around the first quarter of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. On July 25th, 2023, I sent an email with photos to the CM asking what the city was trying to accomplish on the median across the street from our home, or across from our neighbor at 7941 Hilo Way. It looked like a mound of dirt had been built on the median in what looked like an attempt to direct water flow away from 7941. Water that was overflowing from the shallow ditches across the street at 7962 and 7964 Hilo Way. Keep in mind that the month before, our neighbor at 7941 was still having water intrusion even after the project was completed. The CM confirmed to me that same day that in fact, and I quote, the city is trying to divert some of the water from the north side of the street past the driveway to 7941 Hilo Way. Additionally, trench drains will be installed to capture the water before it goes across the street, end quote. It's important to note that's been 16 months since that email from the CM came to me. What the mound has accomplished is for all of the water now to be diverted into our driveway. And as you can see by the photos, the erosion that has happened. The progression of the erosion was sent to Councilman Clark on 4/17 and up 24 and 4/25 and again on 7/18, which he forwarded to the CM, which he responded that he would go have Public Works check on it, whatever that means. Now here we are, November 2024. Not only has the original design failed, but it's causing rapid advancement of erosion at our home every time it rains. So much erosion that the erosion is now going underneath the driveway. So let's recap. First quarter 2023, phase completed. June 2023, water intrusion continues into 7949. July 25th, 2023, the dirt was poured on the median. April 17th, 2024, the 25th, July 18th, 2024, it was reported, and again, somebody was going to go out and check. As a constituents and taxpayers, we would like to know how many more tax dollars will be spent to take corrective actions. How many more additional tax dollars will need to be spent to fix what was supposed to be already fixed? And this is on top of what we paid the engineering design supposedly spent at that time. And coincidentally, September of 2023, the moratorium was lifted on the open ditches, or not being able to do open ditches. And it looks like on Comey Drive and Cali Picona Pond drainage project, they're going to backfill all those ditches. Can't, from what I can see from the plan. So I just would like to understand how this can be fixed, because it cannot continue.
Thank you. City Manager, can you please reach out tomorrow? Do we have your phone? Oh, we have your phone number. Okay. Can you please give her a call tomorrow, and let's see if we can't get this resolved?
Public Works has been out there and checked it. There's no erosion that they've seen. Everything is within the compliance of the project as it was. The mound of dirt simply was to move the water on the north side into Mr. Jake's ditch, which is what it does. It doesn't go anywhere near past his property.
I can see erosion in the photos. Do you want my set of photos? Because I'll go get my own tomorrow. You don't want the photos? Oh, you have some. Oh, okay. Okay. Can you please reach out and just
I will do that.
thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, moving along to the minutes. Is that all the public comments? Okay. I thought I saw something else. I just wasn't sure. I can't see tonight. Well, I can out one eye and not the other.
That's all right. I'm Judge Jennifer Slogel. I have been a judge for Harrison, Hancock, and Stone counties for the last 14 years. Been elected 4 times for our district. And I'm in a runoff election for judge for Court of Appeals in 1 week from today. So it's the only thing on the ballot, but it is a very important race. And let me say that since the Court of Appeals was created in 1995, the seat I'm running for, we have held through Harrison County, our district for Harrison, Hancock, and Stone. We've held that since 1995. We only get 2 spots on the Court of Appeals. The other judge is from Jackson County, great guy, but he's from Jackson County. My opponent is from Jackson County, and I don't think it will serve our 11-county district very well to have the only 2 judges both be from Jackson County. So I would like to keep it as we have always had it through Harrison County representing our district, and I think that's very important. Let me say that, as I said, I've been elected 4 times. I've served as a judge for 14 years. My opponent has a well-respected legal career, but she is a appointed part-time judge for Gaucher Municipal Court, important court, but nevertheless an appointed position. She's never been elected to public office, and she only has those 3 years of judicial experience compared to my judicial experience, which is 14 years. I've been a lawyer for 33 years. I'm not going to say my age. You can do the math. But the last 14, I have been serving as a full-time elected judge. So when you're full-time elected, you don't practice law anymore. So I don't practice law anymore. But I do have that experience that is necessary. I'm running for judge, and I think that's the most important thing to remember, that it's the judicial experience that matters. My opinions or my legal decisions that have been on appeal, I have been upheld 32 of 33 times. So I have a record of making sound legal decisions. This is a very important position. I know it's not very popular or well-known like the presidential election. Nothing else is on the ballot, but it is extremely important that everyone votes next week. So I'm originally from Gulfport. I can tell you more, but I think you've probably heard enough already. Does anyone have any questions about it or about the position?
When was that date again?
A week from today, so it's the
Today.
26th of November, so 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for
Thank you,
having me.
Judge,
I
for
appreciate
coming out.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, moving on to, I can't get the timer off, but I just hope it doesn't ring. Thank you. Could I get a motion to approve the November 5th, 2024 regular meeting minutes? Motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Finley, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2024-306, motion to adopt Resolution 2024-046, authorizing amended application to the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources FY25 Tideland funds in the amount of $250,000 for the Lily Pond public access improvements. Motion?
Moved.
Motion made by Councilman Finley, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Lisi. Councilman Finley, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Lisi, any discussion?
No.
Councilman Cumberland, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Marr?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I have discussion on this one. So if we look at the Tidelands application, which I've done several of these in my 40 years, it clearly says $50,000 for engineering and $200,000 for construction. And then under the description, it says to add a pier. Let me read the description. It says to add a fishing platform, parking, shade structures for the residents and visitors of Diamond Head to utilize. And also landscape the pond with its native species and aerate the pond with a mechanical water feature. So are we building a fishing platform, parking, and shade structures at the Lily Pond?
That was the overall project, yes, ma'am. But when they cut it in half, we probably will get nothing more than just the vegetation plants put in.
$250,000 is a lot of money. I mean, I think that's more than plants. And my concern on that is because back on November of 2023, you had sent us, November 26, 2023, you had sent us an email with a dozen residents, and the email read, "We have been told that you intend to erect a fishing pier very close to our home, which is at the Lily Pond. Having a fishing pier next door to our properties will reduce the value of our properties. The Lily Pond in its current state has impacted the sale of our homes in the area and has opened our backyards up to clear public view. Would you want your backyard exposed to every car driving down Diamond Head North? We understand that this property is public and anyone will be able to use the fishing pier whether they are a resident of Diamond Head or not. This property is small and noise is a real concern, as well as safety, with no fencing to keep people out during the late night hours from visitors entering the exposed backyards during the day or night. We see what happens during the day at East Rec, so imagine no fence during the late night hours, as we are deeply concerned about our safety. This property is in a flood zone, and several times a year the pond is over Diamond Head Drive North. You can dig the pond out 50 feet, but it will not stop the tidally influenced waters from crossing the street. Adding structures of any kind will result in them floating away or onto our property, causing damage. We do not agree in installing a fishing pier or a park at the proposed location of the Lily Pond. Please vote no to this. This is a public safety concern. We'd like trees and grass and shrubs and flowers back. This was once a beautifully wooded property, and we would like it restored." And it's signed by like a dozen residents. So I respect the dozen residents that want their backyards to be maintained, and So does this application need to be amended? Because it clearly says all of that.
Is the application as it was submitted, no ma'am. All that's gonna be done, and like I said, will be the grasses and trees reinstalled.
Does DMR know that we're only asking for grass and trees?
They cut the project in half, so, I mean, they obviously understand that we can't do everything that the project originally required.
So should
We're
we
asked for it.
change the project summary to coordinate with the expenses of $250,000? Because now it's not in it does not match your cost estimate. The project summary does not match the project cost estimate. And I don't want the neighbors to think we voted to approve this and it had all that on there, and they do not want that in their backyard. Trees are wonderful. Trees that are plants are wonderful. I think the concern was now that they are so close to the top of Bank, they don't want people meandering in their backyards, because you can see what they're watching on TV driving down Diamond Head North. Can we table this and get it reworded so that we make sure it just says, what are you wanting to do?
The phase one of this project, which is what you have in front of you, is to install trees back and native grasses around the pond. The rest of the project was to install gazebos, areas for people parking, as well as a pier and the aeration device or fountain out in the middle of the pond. I did receive that letter, and I understand those residents. We can also do a fence. That would not be an unreasonable thing to do, and build a fence around our portion of the property that the city owns.
And that could be included in the DMR permit, the titling permit, the fence. Well, can we table it and you look at that? Okay. Councilman Finley, are you interested in tabling it so we can look at that to address the residents' concerns?
I think it's pretty clear that phase one includes trees and has nothing to do with anything that you just spoke of. Piers, water fountains, water slides.
Okay, that's on the application. If you read the application, that's on page,
I read it, and I read all the
Two.
emails from those residents. I saw the signatures, and I thought we had already, as far as I have settled it, we would not have a pier or any other type of recreation at the Leviathan.
okay, so with that being said, can we do a roll call, City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Okay, so just to be clear, the motion is to pass what we have before us, correct? Because it does sound like it's right in line with what the residents were asking for, restoration of the vegetation and the mechanical water feature. I think it would be lovely, and I don't think anyone would object to that, and that's surely pricey. So if we've got a grant with no matching funds, I don't see why we wouldn't go forward. So I'm a yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Mayor,
I'm a no, not as written. All right, moving right along. Consent agenda. Consent agenda items 4 through,
Number three.
ooh, I'm jumping. Resolution 3, 2024-307. Motion to adopt Resolution 2024-047, thereby declaring closure of City Hall on November 28th and 27th, 2024, in observance of Thanksgiving holiday, December 24th through 26th, 2024, in observance of Christmas holiday, and January 1st, 2025, in observance of New Year's Day holiday for all employees of the City of Diamond Head. Motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland, second.
I'll second.
Second made by Councilman Finley. All in favor?
Aye.
Oops,
Aye.
City
That's a
Clerk,
roll
this
call.
is roll call.
Sorry.
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Consent agenda items 4 through 20. Motion,
22.
I will move to approve 4 through 20.
Councilman Finley, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Cumberland. All in favor? Aye. Action agenda item number 21, 2024-309. Motion to ask Planning and Zoning Administration to hold a public hearing at their earliest opportunity to update the city ordinance addressing home-based businesses in order to reduce the impact of such businesses and neighboring properties. Motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Lisi. Second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Discussion, Councilman Lisi?
Thank you. We've got several businesses in Diamond Head that impact their neighbors more than other businesses. And to be clear, we're not against people working at home. Many, many people work from home, probably more so than ever before since the pandemic, and that's great. What we're concerned about, what I'm concerned about, is businesses who have people coming and going, businesses that are possibly noisy, really people conducting business at their homes rather than just working from home. And so my thought was, since it pertains to an ordinance, the proper procedure is to go through planning and zoning and ask them to hold a public hearing so that they can maybe update the language in our ordinance to reflect a little more consideration for neighboring properties, so that everyone's still within the law and able to work at home the way they're supposed to be, but that the impact of what they're doing does not, negatively affect their neighbors' daily lives. And we've got, I think, several instances right now where businesses have evolved into, really busy operations. And so I think it just needs to be addressed. And I move that we ask Planning and Zoning to have a hearing, take a look, hear from residents, and see the way, the public would like us to handle this, but I think it's time to address it.
Councilman Marr?
I agree. I think in a residential neighborhood, it should be very restricted what type of business can go in there so that there's not traffic or noise going against the neighbors.
Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Cumberland?
No.
Councilman Finley?
I'm in agreement with Councilwoman Lisi and Councilman Marr.
Okay, I have a few questions. First of all, can a resident, and this is for legal, can a resident have an out structure on their property without a dwelling unit and live there?
Mayor, I mean, that's a hypothetical that I don't know.
I'm just a hypothetical.
Well, do you have a specific instance that I can address? I'm not going to sit and address, and give you a legal answer based on not having all the facts in front of me. I'm just not going to do it. So.
Okay, well, I
But
think.
is there an instance when a residence can have an accessory structure on it? If it is grandfathered in, the structure existed prior to the city becoming a city, there are certainly ways that could happen, yes.
Okay, well, that clears up my answer, because I thought you had to have a dwelling unit for a business. But I don't have problems with people having businesses in their homes, and that's the way of the world, the way of the future, the way that it is now. What I have problems with is if we're not following already the existing ordinances, what's set there that we can use to address the issues currently being at hand. Putting more regulations on what people can do with their homes is not going to help if we don't implement what we already have in place. And it's very simple, because we have a lot in place right now. We have a great deal in place. And that's all I'm going to say with that. Roll call, City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
No.
Marr,
Yes.
Mayor.
No. Action agenda item 2024-310, a motion to approve the re-subdivision of Diamond Head Phase 1, Unit 6, First Edition, Block 5, Lots 15 and 16, tax parcel number 0720007.000 and 068H-027006.000. The property address is located at 9322 and 9324 Mahahui Place. The owners are Duncan Matheson and Duncan F. Matheson IV. Motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Lacey, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Cumberland. Any discussion, Councilman Lacey?
Just a question for Mr. Rich. Is this just simply the case of them trying to re-separate lots that were previously separated? Is that correct? Yes, please.
Good evening, everybody. To answer your question, I'm not aware of that. It's my understanding this is father and son,
Right.
neighbors.
Next door, yeah.
Yes, and the piece of property that is being separated out of the father's and given to the son
Okay.
is the boat ramp that goes into the river
Okay,
there.
that clears that
So that's a very
That's
small
what it is.
piece of property there
Okay.
that just encompasses his boat ramp.
That clears it up. Thank you. That's all I have.
Councilman Cumberland?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Marr?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Finley?
No, ma'am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Claims payable. Motion to approve docket of claims DKT 2322 non-zero, DKT 232323 in the amount of $894,755.57. Motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Finley. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payroll payables DKT 232278, DKT 232288 in the amount of $56,633.98. PR claim 10216 in the amount of $26,911.23. PR claim 10217 in the amount of $29,592.07, and PR claim 10218 in the amount of $3,048.79. Motion.
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve docket of claims A and B. Department reports. I'm sorry, I'm choking up here. Motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Finley, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Cumberland. All in favor?
Aye.
No public comments on non-agenda items. Any closing comments?
I had a question for John. I want to understand what we're talking about with the activity center. So if someone rents the activity center and they want to use the gazebo, is that a separate agreement?
No, ma'am. Our rental agreement is for the activity center and grounds.
So it's just first come, first served? It's just first come, first serve, whoever
Yes, ma'am.
does it first. Okay, thank you.
Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, we need executive session.
Okay, could I get a motion to go into executive session for,
Got to go to closed first, Mayor.
go to closed session to discuss a reason to go into executive session?
That's correct.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Lacey,
Second.
second by Councilman Finley. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.